What's up guys, Venomous here, and I bring you my updated open beta Shiv guide to help you be a prodigy Shiv king or queen. In case you're new to my channel, I'm a long-time playtester with over 1500 games of Shiv experience and ended rank 1 during the alpha playtest. I've had lots of people ask if I will make an updated guide, so here it is. Some basic info from the last guide won't be present as it hasn't changed at all like Shiv's base kit. If you want a more in-depth explanation, I'll leave the old guide in the description. But for now, let's give you a quick rundown of her abilities. Her passive is a stacking amplifier that increases your LMB damage per shot and also heals you on knocks. RMB is Chain Bola, it grounds enemies that you hit, and if it hits 2 enemies or an enemy and destructible, it will stun them instead. Your Shift Quick Flip is your bread and butter. It's a short dash that empowers your next shot and applies 2 stacks of passive. If you land your shot, Quick Flip will fully reset its cooldown. Bar Step Dagger is your Q. Toss a dagger to a location and reactivate to teleport. Hitting an enemy with a dagger will slow them. The dagger will forcefully teleport you after 6 seconds. Your ult Fusillade will cause you to shoot a barrage of bullets around you, dealing more damage and applying anti-heal on the outer ring. You will receive 2 smaller shift charges during this, so be sure to continue firing while ult goes off. Starting off the guide with equipment. With the addition of evolving equipment, it opens the opportunity for a variety of builds. Compared to my previous guide of going one build, there's 3 builds I'll talk about. Starting off with Turbo Booster, that's evolved from Quickblade. I believe this item is disgusting for Shiv as your resets make it very easy to keep up the bonus movement speed during fights, which makes you harder to hit. In my personal opinion, this should be a set item and your second item should be one of the following options. Swiftblade evolved from Vampblade, Amplifier evolved from Techblade, or Rampage evolved from Mana Blade. Swiftblade is what I'd call another bread and butter equipment, giving you consistent movement speed, damage, and healing. Amplifier creates a new type of playstyle by forcing you to one ability and getting up to 50% CDR. This build gives you the most mobility as having Shift Max plus a fully stacked Amplifier gives you almost a 2-second cooldown on Shift. On top of Turbo Booster speed, no one will be catching you or running from you as you get around the map ridiculously faster. Rampage was the Exodia item for basically every hunter, however getting a nerf this patch I still think it's usable, just not as much as before as you have to fully stack it to get its benefits. It does provide you with a hefty amount of AP, so I wouldn't count it out and give it a test to see how you like the damage it provides. Moving over to ability leveling, the max level in Supervive is 9 with the ability to unlock special bonuses at level 3 abilities. There are 2 builds that I find viable for Shiv, being the Shift Max build if you're playing with Amplifier or newer to Shiv, and RMB Max being the most optimal for the 2 other equipment. Shift level 3 lowers the cooldown even more on Shift and pairs well with Amplifier stacking to keep Turbo Booster up more as well, and RMB gives you 2 stacks of passive on both targets that you stun. This significantly increases your initial damage on enemies to burst them quicker. Your first 4 levels will be the same regardless of the build, being Shift, RMB, Q, Shift. For level 5 and 6 go ult, then Shift level 3, on 7 go RMB, on 8 go ult, and on 9 go Q. If you have the XP soul, take RMB level 3 at 10. For the RMB build, at level 5 and 6 go ult then RMB, on 7 go RMB level 3, 8 go ult, and 9 go Q. If you have the XP soul, take Shift level 3 at 10. Up next is the optimal powers for Shiv. You can make everything work in this game, but I picked out 12 powers you will mainly see me use, 9 normal and 3 exotics. Some of these powers were used from the last guide, and some are new additions. To get started, I'll talk about the combo of Throwing Axe and Money Tree Seed. The axe allows you to chop trees around the map to drop on enemies, damaging and stunning them for a short duration. Money Tree helps enable this by spawning your own trees, followed by throwing the axe to create consistent stun lines for yourself. Money Tree also combos well with RMB as you can spawn a tree followed by your RMB to allow you to stun targets with the tree. Burning corresponds 3 pulses of fire around you and leaves an area of fire that burns enemies, assisting with extra DPS when engaging. Talking about 2 stealth items for Shiv, Stealth Cloak slowly drains mana and gives you stealth, allowing you to get up very close to enemies and setting up RMB stuns easily for engages. Brushwhacker is similar to Stealth Cloak, however requires you to come out of bushes to get the stealth, on top of granting a speed boost to set up RMB stun engages as well. Green Thumb and Berry Eater is still a very viable combo even after some nerfs, as the sustain you get from this combo is incredible. Pass over bushes you create to heal a large amount. Grapple Hook is still very good even after its nerf, as it helps you get around the map well on top of rooting enemies you hit and setting up another way to engage with pre-activated ults. Bungee is still one of my favorite powers in the game as a Zac main. Set up bungees on a wall and dash into it to launch yourself and carry the momentum with B-hops to travel a great distance. You can also attach one end to an enemy and the other to a wall, then stand in the pull line to stun enemies on you for more forms of CC. Attach both ends to two different enemies to pull them together and stun them, followed by throwing your RMB to stun them a second time for a long duration of CC. Bait Rewinder, while heavily nerfed from the previous guide, is still super ideal for any engage hunter. When activated, you rewind to the past location and revert your HP to the exact amount you were then. Go hard and engage, then rewind back when in trouble to heal back and go again. I still think Armor Shredder and Blinkstone is by far the most powerful set of powers for Shiv. Armor Shredder lets you deal 5x damage to armor, effectively destroying all 4 armors instantly when you ult on a team. And Blink is just a better dagger. It lets you make plays without giving enemies the heads up information that dagger would. Recast ult or RMB even prior to blinking for unavoidable stuns and huge ult engages. With the addition of 2 new hunters and more experience on the game, the one-on-one matchup list has switched around the rankings of difficulty for Shiv to face, with 1 being the hardest and 16 being the easiest. Many of my points from the original video stayed the same, but I'll elaborate more on the top 5 for this video, as I plan to make an in-depth chat about the one-on-one matchups later on my channel, so I'll link the video in the description once it's finished. At number 5, we have a newcomer Jhin. This guy is so annoying to deal with as his damage output is insane while having lots of mobility. He has the capability to spike you over Abyss as well as having an execute. Be sure to look out for his dagger toss, as if you get hit by it, you more than likely already lost the one-on-one. At number 4, falling down the list is Celeste. While I still think she is super annoying and counters everything you want to do, I think she's much easier to deal with as long as you understand how to fight the one-on-one. Save dagger for tossing it on her ult and teleport after her shift, since as the ult ends she will likely shift away to disengage. Duel has climbed up to number 3 for me, and I think it has to do with the buff she's gotten over the months and the skill level of those who play her. The amount of power this hunter holds with how aggressive and scary being stacked on is ridiculous. Do your best to dodge her pull and not let her stack on you. If she's about to hit a 4 stack on you, disengage as soon as possible or your life will shortly be taken. Brawl is just a better Jhin. Super high mobility, a resetting ultimate that can be used to insta-kill Wisp repeatedly and absorb damage, the ability to spike over Abyss, and unchaseable in most cases. Honestly, I just let my team deal with this guy or leave him for the end. The new crown goes to Felix. This rat is just a fun sponge. He has really high DPS and tankiness, as well as the ability to keep anti-heal up on you constantly. If you don't dodge his pull, you are probably already dead. Look out for his ult, as he will most likely cast his pull during the ult. This hunter just listens to Payphone and walks over most teams, so honestly just avoid him if you can on the one-on-one. Finally, to talk about tips and tricks, let's get into it. Talking about proper movement around the map and even during fights, if you want to be risky, most people normally jump dash, but if you want even faster movement, jump dash and instantly glide after casting dash to carry the momentum and boost you forward. Doing this with a turbo amplifier build makes you so fast around the map. One of the biggest tips I have for Shiv revolves around the utility that the dagger brings. It's not just an engage or disengage tool. Drop it near your team and scout ahead. Get info if there's players at the location you want to move to. You can also use it to poke down enemies and bait out big cooldowns like enemy ultimates or CC abilities, and then TP back safely after. A very useful trick if you have the TP soul is to place the dagger on the wall and immediately start teleporting to any raider on the map. You have enough time to activate it and TP back for free scans for the entire match for your team. Dagger can go up terrain and through fences. Use this to your advantage to find flank routes your opponents are less likely to expect you from. You have a sneak feature in this game for a reason, with control. Use it before activating your dagger to get a sense of what you're about to TP into. Don't just TP instantly after throwing dagger. Make sure to always start your ult prior to TPing so you're coming out of the TP already shooting instead of waiting for the wind up. I can't stretch this point enough, but take your time with empowered shots. Go sit and practice if that's what it takes, and get used to the camera movement from consistent shifting. Be patient with your shots, as enemies are very likely to dash when you dash at them. You have time to wait before your empowered shot runs out, so get an idea of their movement and be accurate. Don't just hold LMB and let your shots fly. Condition yourself to click instead of holding. You'll have much better accuracy that way. 2 points from my old video that I don't have the footage for anymore that I'll bring up is shift can be used to stop momentum, including hunter abilities. For example, counter the knockback of Bishop's punch and Zeph's ult. You can use this to cancel momentum from other knockbacks and jump pads as well. Your ult also doesn't have to just be an aggressive tool. If your shift is on cooldown, pop ult and get your shifts back as an added escape tool. An example is KP sees me burn shift and miss my shot, so thinking it's down, he went for his stun, and so I pop my ult to get my shift back to dodge the stun and win the fight. Hopefully this guide helped you guys learn a thing or two about Shiv and you get out there and dominate the lobbies. I'm so glad Supervive is finally here to stay and can't wait to continue making content and compete in tourneys and more. I'll be live basically every day on Twitch, so be sure to follow me over there, and if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments or ask me on stream. Thanks so much for all the support, and I'll see you guys on the next one.